Okay. Not quite. Almost. Almost at it. Var space to just this. In selection. Place all. Then we need to do a regex. Blah. So this again and this with regex. So we want to say this space or space equals dot star, and we want to change that to equals 0 with a thing on the end of it there, semicolon. So that'll set these up to a value of 0 to start with. Okay, so we have our parameters we're initializing. Now down here, take that off, put this back on selection, and just take off the var space. And then for this though, then what we need to do is take this out of here. We need to call this dot setup params. Create a new function to do that. And then we can just call this to do this every time we need to. So let's see. Refine synthesis. Actually, you know what? Yes, we need to do the first part. We did need to do the second part here, though, because actually those values will be different in different windows. So we still want to do the huge honking list here. It's going to be nasty, but this has to be because it's going to be. I mean, we could do it so that we had like multiple of these in a function down below, but we're still creating the same amount of code plus extra lines for the function definition and call, and the logic to then determine which one of those to run. So it's just better to put it inside of here. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to take this whole thing, we're going to copy and paste it and change it to the level up info. And we have to do a lot of changes to this to make it work the way we want it to. So first and foremost, all we want to do is look at the. We need to modify this first and foremost. We only want to see the parameters that we actually are going to be updating. So we still need to have the traits over there, so that's fine that we have those. I actually want to take out a few of these. So these are those two parameters that we have, and then we have the one blind that's not there already. So these two should be updated, and the blind should be added. So let's hit apply there on the third level, and then go to that. So that'll pull in the traits as normal. Now on these, what we need to do is we need to get a. So we need to pull the information. So first of all, we need to do. So we have this. We're also going to need to do some text coloring, so this is going to be weapon level +1. From it durability, that's also going to be maybe a plus. So we'll have to figure out how to handle that differently. We'll have durability and max durability. There, W max dur. So we're going to add a new parameter. And actually, we're just going to, it's this underscore wep dot. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We just need to put it on durability. I think that's what we called that one, Maxter. Where are you? Maxter, yeah. Which we actually don't set up here, which we probably should. So max level, Maxter. Oh, we're in it. Okay, they're in it. Okay, no, that's right. But we're not setting them here, which we should be doing, actually. That's what I was thinking. Level bonuses, that's our durability refinements. That would have definitely caused a problem. Max level. Max dur. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a break for a little while, work on some other stuff, go do some other things. Then we'll come back to give my brain a second to cool down a little bit from all of the mind-numbing insanity that is this plugin. I mean, this thing is like already massively huge, and we've so. I mean, if you look at this up here, I mean, these are all the functions that we had to either alias or overwrite for this so far. That's just the functions that we had to do that for. Next, this is all the code now that we're doing for showing the blacksmith window. And this doesn't even include handling, giving experience. Maybe this does have the battle experience in it. No, it doesn't. Not yet. Oh yeah, it does. Here it is. From the change experience. Yeah. So this does include change experience. We haven't tested it yet though, and we haven't actually built out the code to equip game instance weapons to actors properly, fully, and then whatever we need to do to make that work for the for the battle system. If there's any changes needed, there might be. And then saving and loading the actor equipped weapons, and then changing all this to, instead of using game party weapon, well, no, you can only do this stuff with game party weapons. We're going to say that that's the limitation. You have to unequip a weapon to do any of this stuff to it, which is how it is in a lot of games. So I don't feel like an arse for doing that. So yeah, so this will be, once we finish this will be done, because it's only going to use the game party weapons. But we still have that whole other section of dealing with the actor weapons to do with the code. So we're getting there. We are getting there. But yeah, I knew it was going to be a big plugin. It's actually going, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be bigger or as big as I thought it would be. It's definitely going faster though, like I mentioned last night. Yeah, I'll take a break, maybe an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, maybe a bit more. Let's just say at 12 o'clock I will come back. So in 2.5 hours, we'll say, that I'll start up a stream again. That'll give me enough time to work on other things. Earlier, we went through here, and as you can see, this is a bit different than when it was opened last, when we were streaming just earlier. And I'll explain that in a minute. But we had gotten to the point where we had gotten the data from the plugin data from the priority. This one. This is always so weird, 'cause this looks a lot like the icon sort of for RPG Maker 2000, so that's why I kind of like always am looking over it for. But the note tag data from in here into the plugin, got it all worked out, got the formula worked out in terms of what we had to do for the math.pow thing, and all the formatting and deconstructing of these things as well to get it all into here properly. And then we were talking about how we were going to set up the level up window and like the sizing of the window and how that stuff was going to work. So while doing that, after the stream, I was looking at this, and I decided that really this isn't showing what this isn't really it shouldn't be showing a plus on this, because this is not something that's adding. This is just what this is what the attack power is for the weapon and all these other stats too. Now, if it's a negative, in other words, if we're reducing a stat with a weapon, then yes, the negative sign should be there. But unless this is coming in from a bonus, in other words, so what I did with it was you'll notice I put the max durability up here too. What I did with it is on the function that we call for those, the set sign function, I put in a boolean. And what that boolean does now is it will basically it's B for bonuses. So if the value coming in is a bonus, in other words, it's a level bonus that we're showing on the level up screen or the refine screen to show an increase in a stat from gaining that level or doing that refine, then it'll show the plus, because that means we are adding a certain amount to the current parameter. It won't show the full value of the parameter, I don't think, yet, because, well, I'm kind of back and forth on this, because typically when you're updating a weapon, or not updating, when you're leveling up a weapon, typically you're not going to give it a whole bunch of stats at once. So it's possible that if we went down to 3 per row instead of 4 like on this, that we could do that, because maybe you wouldn't, maybe there'd be a limit of maybe 6 stats that you can upgrade at once and during a level up. Like I said, normally you wouldn't be adding that many. Anyway, so I think what we could do is drop these to 3, and then we can have the existing and then the plus number of what's going to get added onto it on the level up screen or in the refine screen. As you can see here, we might even be able to fit in another one and have 5 per row. That might be pushing it though, because these could all have values. These are now the actual values from the weapon. These are not the test values that we're using. So these can go up to 3 or even 4 digits on some of these. So given that, I think this is probably good enough for now. It doesn't look all too good, but like I said, once you start adding more digits, because since we're adding, these are being placed here using the length of the section before it. So once we add new digits here, this gets pushed over. We have 4 here, this could get pushed over. Then, as you can see, and then maybe if this even has 4 digits, it gets pushed over the line. So there's just things that we have to have this space here to handle, and I'm not sure if the 5th one there would allow that or not. I mean, just having a plus here on this, I think that's... what was I going to say? What was I saying? Because we just had the pluses on this. That's all it was a sign, and that was enough. Well, it was a sign plus all the other numbers, so yeah. With the test data and test information in there, it was pushing it all the way over. So I think this will be just fine the way it is. This is also going to be fine just the way it is. Though it's still showing this because I haven't actually saved the changes to remove those ones we added in from before. So actually, let's go ahead and do that. Apply. I don't have to apply, just have to save. And load this. Now that's also something you have to take into consideration with this. With instance-based weapons, any changes you make to the weapon in the database are not going to affect save games because the weapons are instanced. They're saved. The stats for them are saved in the save file. So this plugin is not going to be update friendly in terms of weapon changes. Well, changes to weapons that already exist. So this is something to keep in mind. Yeah, there we go. So we only have bleeding and poison, and then the what will happen once we add in the, or once we do the stuff to do the level up. Once we get to level 3, it's going to add in the blind trait, or hopefully it will, and we'll actually see it show up here for the level 3 choice. So what we are going to do now is on the level up window, we have the code down here. I just commented it out so I could test the no sign thing. Let's go ahead and uncomment it now. And uncomment that. We're also going to uncomment the thing up here because I disabled that as well. So level up info. Need to rename the function to that. So here we are. Alright. So we have to kind of go about this a little bit differently. So this stuff is still going to be here. Actually, this might change. We'll have to see with that. But this stuff will mostly remain the same. The experience, we're not going to show the removed experience. We're just going to show whatever it has. We're also going to do text coloring based on this as well. So if, like for example, if a particular level has a bonus to a stat that makes it go negative, it'll be displayed in red, and then if it's a positive one, it'll be green. If it's no change, it won't show at all. So you're only going to show changes to parameters here. Traits, it'll always show the traits though. But the parameters, we're only going to show the ones that will change on that particular upgrade. Maybe we should just do that with traits too. Maybe that is the way to go. Only show it if there's a change to that trait. Well, the top stuff will always show. Maybe this bottom stuff will show only if there's an update to it, or whatever will show will have something with an update to it. So, like for example, if on this first level we upgrade only the AGI, then only AGI will show in this box, and it won't have any traits showing. First, though, we need to actually pull out the data for that. So, what's the best way to go about this? So we should pull out, I think we pull out the traits, because the way we have it set up now is that go down here, is that we're saving the, so we have a property on the game instance weapon object that's called level bonuses now, here somewhere. Where are you? I know I added it. Oh, there it is, level bonuses. And it's basically just I believe it's is it an object or is it a list? It's an object that contains 2 lists. A traits list and a parameter list. Actually, the trait list is also an object, I think. Yeah. But it contains a level. Right, it contains a level object. So the bonuses, level bonuses, params, param ID, params. So the param IDs and then a list for the params. Now the reason we couldn't do that with traits is because the trait ID, the trait code is there, and because we had to be able to have multiple traits per level, that's why. Because we can have multiple traits per level, so we need to have a level list that has a trait object in it, which will store all the traits. Yeah. So level bonuses has the traits object, and inside of the traits object is a level list, and inside that level list is are all the traits, all the trait objects, which will then be accessed that way. Yeah. Okay. So in order to pull, so we pull this out, and we have parameters, params, and we have traits, and those will both be so param is parm object. I'm not sure why I decided to do it that way, but I did do it that way. I'm actually not using parm object down here though, so we don't even need that. I'm not even sure why I used it that way for. So we'll do that. Traits is a list. Actually, just trying to think about how this is going to work as a practical matter. So we have traits, and we have a trait at key 0, which equals level, and level has all the traits in it, which has the trait objects, which are just the code, data ID, and value. And then we can get the we can get the icon using the trait ID into the stat data stats states. Keep saying stats instead of states if we need to. So I need to store the icon in there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So what we'll do is, now the problem with this levels thing here is that it's going to be 0 indexed. Well, it's not so much a problem as it is just like a we'll have to take care of that in the code. So 0 to 9 being levels 1 to 10 or whatever your max level is. So that's another thing that we'll have to use the max level to loop through this. Well, not necessarily, because what we'll do is we'll use the level minus 1. So for example, level 0, you never have anything on level 0 or on level 1 because that's the starting level, so whatever you have on the weapon is what's going to be there. So there wouldn't be any bonuses or anything like that on the first level. So since we go to level 2, so we use the current level 1, to pull the bonuses for level 2, since 2 is really index 1 in this list. So it's kind of, well, it's key 2, or key 1 in this, so. Now for params, level bonuses params. So that's going to be the param ID, and then so that's the same kind of thing. So we have the param ID, which is different though. So it's the ID of the param we're changing, and then the values for that, which are actually in a. Are these in a list? They are in a list, so we just pull the 0 through 9 on those, or 0 through whatever on those, using the same method that we do with the traits. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to get those lists out here. So let's start at the top. Var new traits equals this underscore wet dot underscore level bonuses. So this is for traits. So traits, and then we're going to say this dot underscore wep dot underscore level. So that'll pull out the ones that we want. Var new params equals this dot underscore wet dot underscore level bonuses params. Now for this, this one we'll have to do a bit differently. So we have so we need to do we'll make this new params still, but we're gonna initialize it as an object real quick, and then we're gonna do a for in loop to pull out the whatever's in there for this weapon for the bonuses, and then we'll store those into the new params, and then we can just use them that way. So we'll have to do another for in later for this, but this makes it easier than having to type all this crap out to get to it. Param ID, we'll call it. Since a new params param ID equals this down underscore whip score level of bonuses params, and then param ID, and that should pull out the information that we want for that particular parameter. So again, we're basically we're kind of restructuring this, because the way this is stored is we have these params and we have the param ID. Well, no, maybe we don't need to do it that way. Go away. So we're storing params and param ID parsing int. Params parse int to params I1. So that's a list. So level bonuses params param ID equals the list. So actually, you know what? We don't really need to do that, do we? What we can just do is wherever we're at, we just need to pull this out, and then we'll get everything using this. Whoops. Nah. All right, let's just do that. Because that way we pull, yeah, that's how we should do it. We'll need that for in loop later though. So there's our new stuff there. Now, that's fine, durability. There's also one for durability. It is called, it's in the dur key, dur increase. And yeah, we just need to store it in a variable. Var new durability equals this to underscore whip dot underscore level bonuses dir. Now, is there anything else we need? So params. But did I handle that per yeah, I did. Okay, good. Just wasn't sure if we had done that yet or not. So coats trades dir increase params, and then this stuff is not level based stuff. So yeah, that's everything. So now what we want to do is bonuses, using the wrong side. Okay. So our next thing to do is going to be to durability. We have to change the durability if it's different. So if